Game recognized game.
I was a grown man on the baseball field. They just cut me.
I don't want to think, is that Gunther?
So, I wanted to learn so much because I wanted to play.
They ain't gonna get that kind of money no more. Like, they gonna have to work a job, man.
You one of them. This my ball. I'm going home.
I don't understand because it's about winning, isn't it?
My thing about the whole Luka thing is that you should never be out of shape.
All facts, no filter. What's happening, good people? I am Coach Mo, and this is Game Recognized Game. All facts, no filter. I'm here with my brothers, Del Ray and DB. What's going on, fellas?
All right. How you doing today, Moses?
Man. Hey, I've been waiting on this for a long time. Me and DB was talking, and then when he said Del Ray, I got excited. I said, man, let's talk. Let's talk sports, and we ain't got no filter on this. We just coming with facts. All right.
100% facts, man, all the time. That's all we can do. That's what we know. That's how we was raised. Straight truths, man.
Okay. Now I'm gonna throw something in there. I know this is off script, so I'm gonna just so they know this is real conversations with no filter on them. Del Ray, they threw another one out on the floor.
No, they didn't.
Threw another one out on the floor.
No, hey, well, how
hit the floor again.
How am I missing this? I ain't seen it yet. But, hey, but my daughter and my wife said something to me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I got one question. I asked DB, was it a rose?
Not a toy drive right now, man. Let's let it roll. Let's just play basketball at this juncture, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what it's about. It. They never did nothing like that at a men's game. I don't get it. I can't comprehend it.
Man, I don't understand, man. I do not understand. What does that got to do with that good ball they playing?
Right.
Got nothing to do with basketball. It's just got everything to do with, people don't want to see. Sometimes they hate when you're great, man.
I wonder if it's a disgruntled ex-lover. They got them in different area codes.
Hey, but watch out now. It might be coming to an arena near you. That's coming to an arena near you. You don't want that.
No, yeah, you don't want that. They got to leave it with basketball, man. You're messing up a very good game. Speaking of the WNBA, since we talking, let's talk about the MVP battle between A'ja Wilson and Napheesa Collier. Yeah, who do you guys think is leading the battle for that?
Well, I think Collier is probably is leading right now this year. Even though A'ja Wilson is having a great year, Collier right now team is in first right now in the WNBA. They got to the finals last year. Obviously, the Vegas Aces are struggling a little bit. They're in the middle of the pack. So you're probably going to look at, Napheesa Collier has been a defensive player of the year. So has A'ja Wilson. I guess it's tough. Both of them have been dominant, but they may give it to Collier this year.
What's your thoughts, Dale?
I think Collier is having a better season than A'ja right now. A'ja's won it before. I don't think Collier has ever won it. If I had a vote right now at this part of the season, I would give it to Collier. I think she's playing extremely well, and as Damon said, their team is in the top of the standings. As of right now, they're probably the team to beat.
Right.
Well, I agree that she's got her stats are a little better. If we look at stats, Collier, she's leading the WNBA with 23.8 points a game, so she's leading there. A'ja Wilson's leading the league with 2.4 blocks per game. Mm-hmm. She's got 22.1 points, and she's got 9.1 rebounds for Wilson. But Collier, the team is doing a lot better, and she's shooting phenomenal. Like, her shooting splits are she's 53 field goal and almost 40 from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's playing stellar defense. She's really playing.
She's always on the other team's premier offensive player, especially if it's not a, she doesn't guard A'ja Wilson as much if they're not a post or big, but the perimeter 1 through 4, Napheesa Collier can guard. She does it on both ends. So does Wilson. So it's gonna be a really interesting thing. There's been some other things from other players who've kind of fallen off the MVP race here in the last couple of weeks, but these two are definitely, head of the class.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to tonight. They got a matchup tonight, the Lynx versus the Aces. It's nationally televised. Um, the Collier's team, they're 23-5, and the Aces are 14-13. So it's a
Right.
matchup game tonight.
Yeah.
See what they do. I think this really tells who's gonna win it tonight.
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
winner of this game, I think, will prepare themselves a little ahead in the
But
vote.
also with Collier, she scores at every level. You know,
Yeah.
inside, outside, take you off the dribble. She's got a complete game, and
Yeah.
like you said, tonight's game will be a good test of how the rest of the season is going to wind up.
Yeah.
And I think that these two are they're really superstars. These two are legit superstars in the WNBA. They
Yeah.
do some. I mean, obviously, Asia Wilson has been. Both of them have been at the Olympic level, but Asia Wilson's dominated at the Olympic level. She dominated at the college level. Collier dominated the college level. She's very good complementary player at the Olympic level. Look at Collier, what she did is it called unrivaled or rival? Well, the league unrivaled. The three on
Unrivaled.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unrivaled.
the 3-on-3 league is just it went through the roof. Something to help grow the game on the women's side of basketball. So they're doing it all. Asia Wilson is in a lot of commercials, the marketing. The WNBA on the court is in great hands. They just got to figure it out what they're going to do as far as how they're going to run the business of the WNBA, because everybody's all mad about the players wanting more money and all that. Their talent is there for more money, but it's not the players' problem if the league is running in the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, for us to really be having this conversation, they're doing a tremendous job with marketing, and the game itself has been there. Since Cynthia Cooper and them were there, the
Yeah.
game has been there.
Yes.
Now
Right.
it's getting the national recognition, and you're starting to see the thrive of the sport itself and the league.
Yeah. Yeah. It's thriving.
Yeah.
No
Let's
doubt.
switch just a little bit over and let's talk about it. There was one big gripe they had with Luka Dončić,
Yeah.
and that's him being out of shape. But we've noticed that his off-season transformation when he's working out. So what do you think prompted that, and what do you think about that?
Dale, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. He's
Go
he's
ahead.
playing he's playing in Los Angeles. Okay, you're not gonna be fat and out of shape in LA.
That's right.
They won't let you.
Mm.
There isn't anywhere in Los Angeles that he can go and people not recognize him or say something to him. And at the end of the day, as good a player as he is, he knows that. He knows that he was out of shape. He knows that he was struggling, from a conditioning standpoint. And he went back to the drawing board. He said, I know how to get right. Um, a few months ago, people was looking at me, asking me, did I play football? So you know what that told me? Yo, I'm getting myself back in the gym. I didn't lost 30 pounds in the last few months. So he just went about that transformation at a much higher level, which was his occupation right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing him compete next year, because I think he's going to be off the charts.
Man, that 2-a-day regimen he's on with the intermittent fasting. Um, he's on a gluten-free, low-sugar diet. He's 250 grams of protein per day. He's really putting a push toward health and being in shape.
Yeah.
That was the gripe of it being in Dallas. Now, why
Los,
didn't he do that in Dallas?
Los Angeles will do it for you.
Oh,
Yeah, LA will do it.
LA.
But
Who have you known to play in LA that people are out of shape?
exactly.
Well, that's
Well,
true.
Shaq at the end, but that's something
Yeah,
totally different. He had one
yeah. At the end, and he didn't stay there, did he?
Huh?
He didn't stay there, did
No, he didn't. He was gone.
he?
Yeah, you right.
So my thing about the whole Luka thing is like, if you're a basketball player and you're actively playing basketball, you should never be out of shape, because that is the number one thing for your game, is to be in shape. Two, to Dale's point about being in LA, that really helps. And three, he just signed a new extension, 3 years, $165 million.
that would get me up off the couch and definitely want to be staying in shape.
Okay.
You know, that can drive that can drive, you know, that can drive somebody's will, but it shouldn't take that. I think now he's going to be an even better player because he's lost his weight. And now, if you remember in the finals back against Boston, was that 2 years ago? The Boston series, the 2024 series. He tired out because teams was double teaming him and all that. Because hey, that has a lot to do with shape, the extra weight that you're carrying. It looks like he's lost 15 to 20 pounds. That right there can go a long way, not only in your conditioning and your late game stuff, but also on top of that, you know what, prevent a little bit of injury because he was getting knick-knacked, he was getting banged up. Now, you know, now you can probably see him get all the way through, you know, through a season without the, you know, little knickknacks. And everybody gonna be knickknack with 82 games, but get through the season without missing any time.
Yeah, I think the health is a big thing for him, for his success, because we know he has talent. He's got the talent, all talent there is. You know what I mean? His health and being able to stay in the playoffs is the key. And I think this is, man, for him to just take this much time during the summer to focus on that. I mean, he took this the first time they say he's took a month off from basketball just to focus on his health and body, physical strength.
Well, he didn't have no other choice because they got beat in the first round of the playoffs, so he was at home anyway.
He was already at the house.
He was already at the house. Yeah, that month off was already there. They was out the playoffs. He had a long season. He was out first round.
Yeah. Plus he didn't want to. He knew how LeBron take care of his body.
Yeah.
So there was no excuse for him not to do it. You know, he saw. You know, he's seen LeBron, and so that's another motivating factor. When you see someone else do it, you be like, yeah, I can do this. I should do this. So I think that was another thing that he looked at. You know, you look at LeBron being able to compete this many years at that level, and the way he takes care of his body and his diet. You know, it's just it's the thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah. So speaking of Luka, being an international player, the NBA has been infused with European basketball players. Let's talk a little bit about that. We talked before about how many were taken in the draft. This is the second highest taken in the draft this year. 23 of the 59 picks were international players. It's infused. We seen it start back with Tony Kukoc, Drazen Petrovic, those players coming over here. What do you think that the influx of international players to the NBA, what has that done?
It's just grown the game. It's made the game even more appealing. It was the plan of, you know, obviously the vision of David Stern to, you know, rest in heaven for David Stern, the commissioner before Adam Silver, who was the commissioner from 1984 to I think 2015, something like that. He had a vision, you know, as far as international basketball. And crazy story about what he did with China. He took a game tape of the All-Star game and gave it to CCTV5, which is the big sports station in China. Gave them the All-Star tape and said, "Put it on." And what it did is just grew the game immensely, especially for the Asian market. What they did, and out of that, what came out of that? Yao Ming.
Yao Ming, yeah.
You know, Yao Ming came out of that. The big drive of basketball in Asia and having over 450 million fans, over 320 million players that are active from age 60 all the way down to age 8 and 9 years old in the whole country. That boom, the European boom, happened after the '92 Olympics. So that predated the '92 Olympics when Jordan, Magic Bird took their skill. Barkley took their skill to Barcelona to just help the game. And I think that it's important for the game to grow that way because, you know, basketball is a global game. And for people to be able to grow it, it used to be America's game. And to tell the truth, it was more considered in the 70s. It was a black game. But you know what? It was created by whites, but then it became a black game, and they thought they had an image problem in the '70s. And then, hey, here come Bird Magic to kind of elevate the game even more, even at the college level. And the college basketball has always been good, but then at the pro level, the more the international, the FIBA level, now some of these things have helped grow it into being an international game. That's the long form of it.
What you think, Dale?
Well, yeah, I think I echo Damon's sentiments exactly. I think the roots of it becoming a global game probably started in I believe it's the '72 Olympics, where
Yep.
The American team got beat, and so that was like,
Cheated.
huh?
Cheated.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, they had the least amount of points than the other team, so they got beat.
They put more time on the clock, Dale.
You're right. You're right, Dale. The team with the least amount of points loses.
Yeah.
They got beat.
Dale.
So however they got beat, they got beat. So I think that planted the seeds globally for other countries to say, hey, maybe if we start our kids early and train them up in the fundamentals, that we can become competitive at this game as well. And if you look at the Soviet Union, that team that beat the United States, the Soviet Union broke apart. And so that became Croatia, Serbia. Well, I'm missing some other small countries, but all those teams broke off.
Yugoslavia.
But Yugoslavia ended up breaking up too.
Yeah, they broke up too. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is that, and all those guys used to be all part of the Soviet Union, and so they broke up, and so it just became a global sport. I know in the summer of 1985, I was a member of the team at Indiana University, and we spent 6 weeks overseas playing Japan, China, at that time Yugoslavia, and Finland. And so I think, and other college teams were doing that. So I think that's also part of how the game has grown globally as well. And you look at, 1985, that's a long time ago. And so it's just gradually built to the point now where they're just as good as we are and very competitive. In the 2028 Olympics, is it 2028 when the Olympics are in LA?
Yeah. Yep. 2020.
That's gonna be a challenge for the American team to win that. And how embarrassing would it be if we lost at home?
It'll be the first
No,
time ever.
we needed a great game from Steph and Durant to win it this past Olympics.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
gonna be
so-
tough. There's a lot of great players from the overseas. They're
Yeah.
taking the league by storm. I mean, we look at just now the change even in the NBA because the players have come in. OKC won this year the championship with who? Canadian player.
Yeah.
Canadians, yeah, you got to watch out for the Canadians trying to win that in 2028.
Man.
Hey, Canada should be good. Dr. James Naismith is Canadian. He created the game.
Yeah.
They should be good.
Man,
It's coming to fruition right now. You know what I'm saying? It's coming to fruition.
Man, they tough. I mean, it's an influx, and I think it's good for the league. I mean, to be honest, it made them play, in my opinion, it made them play more basketball. I think the younger generation of international players are a little more skilled than the younger generation of American players. They're working on their craftsmanship. They're working on their game. They can shoot, pass, dribble. They put it all together. They know how to play team. We was talking about that. They're on the team concept of winning. You can see it from OKC. They had a team concept from the beginning. Even when they do the interviews after the game, it's a team. You can hear how they speak. I think it was good for the league. I think Stern had a great vision of opening it up, making it a global game. And it's even leading to now they're talking about making that NBA's European Basketball Super League. They're talking about making that Super League. And right now they're moving fast to create it's like 14 to 16 teams with the NBA Europe League, blending historic European clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, all of them with new franchises in key markets like London, Paris, Berlin, and Manchester. They're talking about that. Now, what do you think that does for like the basketball culture and identity that's already there, the involvement in those leagues? Because they've already kind of got leagues over there
Yeah.
that's been traditional.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I was heavily involved in the beginning makings of NBA China, what NBA China was supposed to be. Now it's been more development. It's got the NBA teams playing against each other. But back then, NBA China was set to be a league, and it was set to be a league. And whereas they were going to create 16 teams, they were going to create 16 teams where they had brand new arenas being built by AEG in China, and all these teams were going to be made up of all the players that were some of the best players around the world. They were going to sign them and try to put them all down into China. Well, the Chinese government came in and said if that happens, they feel like they own CBA League, Chinese Basketball Association League, was going to get shut down from that. So that NBA China already had about $2 billion invested in it, and that was in 2009. And they were creating a whole new TV station called CSPN, China Sports Programming Network, that was going to broadcast all the games. So this right here was this right here that's being formulated out of this. Now you're going to see a lot of these, like you just said. How is it going to affect the teams locally now, where they're trying to get a super league? It's gonna have a little bit of effect on it. As far as if Real Madrid is going to not only play in the Euro League or for the Euro Cup, but also playing as scheduling as far as Super League games as well. I think it will be more along those lines as being like a Euro League instead of just a set league where they got where they have 50 games in a season. It's probably something that they got 10 games and then they play for a big cup, and each team gets a big check. But it will still help expand the game because what, somebody's got to come in, somebody's got to get the the TV rights off of that. So it's going to be a really big big thing if this comes to fruition.
Do you think it's going to be any dilution of the existing leagues and scheduling conflicts?
No, they'll schedule it. The season probably goes a little bit longer, or it either is going to go stretch out longer at the back end, or it's really going to have to fill in some of those open dates that they have. Now it's going to put as far as FIBA basketball overall, some of those players being able to play with their national teams. I think those teams being able to play, those players having to play with their national teams could be a little bit stressed as far as time, because if these other games are going to fill in, or some of these teams are going to have to drop out of these other leagues that they're in, the Adriatic League, the VTB, all these other leagues that offer interplay type going on. So these other teams, they're going to have to drop out of some of the other ones. But I guarantee you this much: the check for them to be playing into the NBA will be so strong that it'd be worth their while.
Yeah, well, they already talking about that. The structure for financing and franchising fees are starting like 500 million to $1 billion. So
Oh yeah.
they don't have some paychecks.
Yeah, well, that's what it costs for an NBA team. When people like, hey, are they going to move the team here, move the team there? It's $500 million to move a team out of a market already. So, and the money for sports is out there right now. Obviously, Saudi Arabia has a big fund that they utilize to, integrate into sports. Obviously, the live with golf, excuse me.
Golf.
And then also they're big into soccer right now. They got Ronaldo to come over to and Mepe to come over and play in, both of them to come over and try to play in Saudi Arabia. So they got a lot of money out there, and they kind of hinting at helping LeBron out. LeBron and Maverick Carter form another league which has Saudi money behind it.
Yeah, the money for that is out there.
Yeah, and don't forget the Lakers just sold for $10 billion.
Man,
Oh yeah.
just out the blue too. 10 billion.
10 billion.
Hmm.
Woo.
Jenny Buss hurry up and made that deal.
Hey, let me get that check.
Yeah, and she's still working.
Right,
Oh,
right.
So she got the money and still making more money.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the lick. That's what they do, Moses.
Yep.
That's the lick.
She's still a minority owner of the team, making her. Yeah, the money got longer.
You know, she cashed in on the $10 billion and still getting a check, salary, still getting a salary.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's switch gears just a little bit, and let's talk about that the Major League Baseball Speedway Classic. That's to be at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Be the first time ever a regular season game in the state. It's in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 85,000 tickets. So
That's
got a new regular season attendance record.
Right.
That's Atlanta.
I think it's great marketing. It's great marketing. You're bringing those race fans who probably casually watch baseball, but since it's in their environment, their arena, so to speak, they're going to come out and support it. And I think it's a brilliant idea. It's just like in hockey, you know, the NHL often have games outside during the winter in certain places. You know, it just it's a bit of a nostalgic type thing. You know, kids grow up playing hockey outside, and now the pros are playing a hockey game outside, and people come out and support that.
Yeah, I think they're following suit with like a lot of, like you said, Del, basketball. Started it off. Especially like at the college level, Michigan State playing on the aircraft
carrier, yeah.
Football, now the NFL is doing their NFL Europe games, going down to Brazil to play, just getting the popularity back. And, baseball obviously for so many years was America's game. And now it's gone a little bit to the waist. It's gone a little bit, I shouldn't say the wayside, but it's gone a little bit away from being America's game and kind of being third fiddle in the U.S. behind basketball and NFL and college football.
Man, they've really set this up. I'm just looking at some of the things that they've got with it. They built the whole. First of all, they had to build a whole diamond. The infield diamond was built. They got 40 camera broadcasts plus drone shots. They got a Ferris wheel. They got a Pitbull and Tim McGraw concert that's going on.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
They brought Pitbull
They didn't let Nelly come because Nelly like country music. No, they didn't let Nelly in there.
They didn't let his country grandma
Hey, Nelly Shabuzi, the country music star.
Yeah.
We got black country music stars now. Beyonce.
Man, that's what I said. They didn't let Beyonce get in there.
No.
Oh man. Hey, they also got STEM activities, and then guess who's gonna be the ceremonial throws?
Who you got?
Chipper Jones,
Dolly Parton,
Johnny Bench.
Dolly Parton.
She gonna be in the stands.
She's gonna be in the stands. So Johnny Bench,
and Chipper Jones.
Oh, because Atlanta is playing Cincinnati.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And Atlanta's out of the playoff mix right now, but Cincinnati's got a chance. I'll look this up. I did my little research. Baseball. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you, DB.
I didn't play baseball. I can tell you. I will put a disclaimer out there. This is all true. I got cut from the softball team in elementary school because I'm left-handed. I couldn't catch the ball with the mitt on my right hand. I would have to use a lefty mitt. I'm not afraid to do it. I know we're going to talk about what it takes to be a D1 athlete because my strong suit was in another sport. Yeah. So I would hit, boom, catch it, take the mitt off, put it, then throw it.
Oh, yeah, too slow.
Hey, coach was like, you know what? I know your buddies is on the team, but I think you're going to just have to cheer them on. You're going to have to sit this one out, buddy.
David, the only reason you weren't able to do it is because you didn't start at an early age. I played baseball and was very good at it, just like I was in basketball until the ball started moving.
No, I was 12. I had no excuse. I was 12.
You had to start at 8. I'm telling you, you had to start at 8. Starting at 12, you was too late.
Oh, I was a grown man on the baseball field. They just cut me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to start at 8.
I aged out, Dale. I aged out.
Yes, you aged out. You aged out.
I aged out in my first.
Because I don't have no problem catching the ball with my left hand and throwing it with my right. It's a natural thing because I started at such an early age. You started too late. 12 years old, ain't no way.
Your coordination was.
I was just trying to go out for a sport, man. I was just trying to get out of some chores back then, man.
No, I feel you.
That didn't work.
That was too late. Too late.
Yeah, it was way too late.
Well, now I guess it's too late for me to be finding this out right now, too. Then, dang. All right, I feel better then. I feel much better.
We're going to talk about what it takes to be a D1 athlete.
But
and guess what? You can't start that late.
Yeah.
No.
I feel a lot better because now
not in baseball.
I aged out in softball, baseball. I aged out at 12. It was too late, man.
Yeah, it was too late.
Hey, but it's a big push with the major league they're trying to merge sports, entertainment, and fan experience. Like that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, they're really pushing for that fan experience. We see some of the new arenas and coliseums they're building. They're putting more fan experience.
Hey, have you guys looked at the banana players? The banana team?
Bananas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The baseball team?
Yeah.
They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yes.
They go around the country and they turn flips and catch. They got a guy on stilts, and so and they sell out all over the country.
Their new TV deal too.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know about them, Moses?
I've seen it, but I don't know a lot about them.
It's crazy. It's phenomenal. I mean, they sell out all over the country.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
You gotta look. You gotta
clips, but I've never really paid.
Yeah, you gotta look. Hey, look that up. It's crazy.
Yep. And they're selling out. They're selling out MLB stadiums.
Yeah.
They're not doing AAA anymore or anything like that. Their ticket sales are, they're selling corporate tickets now. Their ticket prices used to be like $10 to $25, but now they got some seats that go for $3,000. Like, these guys crazy. Are like,
it's crazy. They were on Good Morning America. They've made all the TV show circuits. It's crazy. Crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, they signed a multi-year deal with ESPN to broadcast their games. Between 25 and 35 million dollar deal. I mean, they've been on a grind marketing wise, and they found their groove. So it's family entertainment.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
Have you been to one of their games?
I haven't been to one. I don't think there's been one in my area, but they'll be coming through Kansas City at some point.
They already have. They've been through here. They played at Monarch Field.
Oh, Monarch.
Yeah, they played at Monarch. They played at the Monarch Field. They came through here before. Yeah, I didn't go to the game. I'm still distraught from my baseball career, so I don't know if I'm gonna get out to the game anytime soon.
He's really holding on to that deal. He really holding on to that.
I'm just happy that I aged out. I mean, you guys saved me, man. I've been distraught, man. I mean, I'm 52 now. I've been distraught for 40 years, so I guess you know what. I aged out, man. I'm happy. Dale said I aged out, so he gave.
Let that go. Look, ain't no need to be upset about that. Let that go.
You got to let that go, DB.
I just did, man. All that weight and the pressure of me getting cut. I didn't woo-side right now,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commercial break, I'll definitely go woo-side again, man. Our next commercial break, I'll be woo-side, everybody. So just so y'all know.
Let's jump into it. Since we talking about it, let's jump into what does it take to become a Division I student athlete? Or what would you say? And I want to make sure that they understand that we said a Division I student athlete. All right, because it's student and athlete at the same time. So what does it take? What would you say would be the keys for that? I'm gonna go to you first, Dale. What would you say?
First of all, it takes you got to have the talent. You have to be able to have the talent to be a very good basketball player, then you have to be committed. And I think a lot of our young kids today, they really don't understand the word commitment. Okay. And then you have to make sacrifices. And I was told this as a young kid that, you have to be willing to sacrifice. And, sacrifice, what does that mean? That means that when your friends, your relatives are out doing something that you really, really would like to do, you really enjoy doing, they're having fun, you got to say no, because your commitment is to becoming the best basketball player that you can be. So to do that, you have to be committed, and you have to work on your game every day. To become a Division I athlete, there's no days off. Okay. And I grew up where it was cold in the winter. So, I remember laying in my bed on my back, just shooting the ball up in the air, holding my follow through over and over and over again. So when people say you can shoot, yeah, I can shoot because I done spent years and years and years working on that skill, dribbling the ball in the basement, just dribbling it, just coming up with creative ways to work on my game when I wasn't able to work on my game out in the driveway or with a basketball court. Okay. And a lot of, we got kids now, their thumbs, they're good. They're ambidextrous as far as their thumbs with playing video games. A video game is not going to help you become a Division I basketball player. I hate to break the news to you. It's not going to help you. And I'm not saying that you don't do that, but you got to prioritize. And I tell my students, and I tell kids that I coach, that what is the one thing that all of us have, Moses, me, you, and Damon? What is the one thing that we all have?
One thing we all have?
Yeah, we all have.
We all still have hair.
I'm losing mine, but we all have the same. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, right?
Look like he froze up a little bit on us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it again because you froze up a little bit. So
Okay.
come back.
Yeah, what I was just saying is that we all have 24 hours a day, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all have the same amount of time,
right?
So it's how do you utilize that time?
Yeah.
To become a better basketball player. And you say student athlete. I was class president in my junior and senior class. And so as class president of my senior class, I got to say the speech at the graduation, and I got to help pass out the diplomas. And each stack of diplomas had a yellow Post-it thing on there. So I would open it up and put it inside because I didn't want a whole bunch of yellow Post-it things on the stage, right? I opened up some diplomas, wasn't no diploma in there. So that means they hadn't graduated yet. Right. That they were able to, they allowed them to walk, but they still had to go back and finish to get there. So that was the first thing, because I thought, we all here, I thought we all graduate, right? So then I go to college, right? And at Indiana, I transferred, but when I got to Providence College, every student athlete while I was there graduated in every sport. We had 100% graduation rate. So that's all I knew. Then I go to the CBA. Me and one other player had our degree. And Damon knows me. So like, I'll say whatever is on my mind, So I asked him, I said, "Well, y'all didn't graduate?" Like, "No, man, I ain't graduate." I said, and this is a family show, so I can't say what I really said, but I said, "Well, what did you do? What did you do while you was there?" I say, all you did was allow them to use you. You didn't get nothing out of the experience going there. So so being a student first always was important to me. My parents told me I couldn't play if I brought home a C. I had never brought home a C in my freshman year. You know, I knew I was going to be starting on the varsity, and I was feeling myself a little bit. And I had biology, geometry, and Spanish. I got a C in all three of those courses. You would have thought I had robbed a bank or something. My dad, my mom, and both of them went absolutely ballistic and said, you will not play not 1 minute this year if you bring another C in this house. So long story short, I never brought another C home. I was on the honor roll, made National Honor Society and all of it. Not because I was so, I wanted to learn so much, because I wanted to play. Wow. I wanted to play, and I had the ability to do the work. And so it doesn't mean that there wasn't some late nights, even in high school, waiting to the last minute to finish a project, but I had to get it done, and it just forces you to be better, and then as I got older, it became, I used academics like I used athletics. It's like me and the test. Okay, so I'm not gonna let that test beat me. It's a competition, game on. And that's the way, but that's what you have to do. You got to manage your time management, and be committed and make the necessary sacrifices to achieve your goal.
What you think, DB?
Well, I actually concur with Dell on a lot of the points that he's made here, and to even take it a step further, not only with the talent and the commitment of time, but also you have to be around it too a little bit, and being that being in the gym and being around those players that have that same drive, same goals, and that may have more talent than you or have done it before you've done it. I always tell this story all the time. Like, I go all the way back with Dell. Well, he didn't know who the hell I was from Adam, but I was in the 5th grade, and I had just moved back from California, back in Indiana.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, well, I was
I
started basketball. I started basketball late too, but I guess I picked the right one. But so, I go to the first high school game I ever go to in Elkhart, Indiana. Michigan City Rogers is playing against Elkhart Central.
Damon, how many fans was in the arena?
About 7,000, 8,000 was there. It was grade school night, and we barely had a seat. We were sitting way up in the in kind of like the crow's nest, which is the deep corners of our gym that where I ended up playing all my high school games at. And Dell's team was in town, and they was one of the top 10 teams in the country. The number one, was y'all number one in the state that year?
Yeah.
During the season.
When we came in there, yeah.
It's his senior year, and it's his senior year. He's USA Today Player of the Year, right? And I don't know anything. I'm just learning this is the first time I get to my elementary school. They put me on a team. I'm on 3rd string. I didn't know anything about it. I know that after I went to this game, an announcer kept going, Delray Brooks for 2. Brooks for 2. Delray Brooks for 2 again. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, man, that's something I want. So then now I look in the paper the next day. He's got 33 points, and he didn't even play in the 4th quarter. And I'm like, wow, okay. So that's Mo started off with the whole. Mo started off with the dildo, man. Took us off the air, man. We didn't have a chance, man.
Hey, well, there he is. I was gonna say, what rules is that?
Them brothers is done.
They yanked us off, huh?
They took us off the air, baby. So we can just pick up where we was at, right?
We can. So where we at?
Dell had just got done. Oh,
yeah, I know that part. Yeah. I'm talking to them.
So you want me?
We come back in. Yeah, I'm gonna add. Are you ready? Oh, okay. All right. So we're talking about becoming a Division I athlete. So what do you think?
Well,
B?
I think all the sentiments that Dell had put forth, having the talent, having essentially having a drive, and being able to have some sacrifices, and on top of that, being around it, and I was, wanting to tell this kind of funny story about when I started off playing. Basketball. I moved back from Indiana. I mean, moved back from California to
Were you a
Indiana.
skateboarding and surfing?
I was almost Tony Hawk before I was Connie Hawkins, baby. Shoot.
At
I had
six
game
foot,
on the skateboard. Now. I had game on the
hey,
skateboard.
at 6'5".
Huh?
That's it, at 6'5".
The 10-year-old, huh?
Hey,
A 6'5", 10-year-old. Hey, actually, Tony Hawk is like 6'4", 6'5" himself.
oh, is he that tall?
Yeah. He's pretty tall. But to tell the story, to be around it, to kind of understand it, and being around other great players. And I went to a game, and the first game that I ever went to, a high school game in the state of Indiana, Michigan City Rogers, with yours truly, Delray Brooks, #1 high school player in the country, USA Today Player of the Year, playing against Elkhart Central, who was one of the 2 high schools in Elkhart. Now is back to 1 high school, in a gym that seats over 8,000 people. And I'm up in the crow's nest with the other grade school age kids watching. And it's a spectacle to me. First off, I'm at a game, and I mean, we're all these people, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. I'm 10 years old, and I've never seen anything like this before. And the announcer kept going, Delray Brooks for 2, Brooks for 2, Delray Brooks again for 2. And the next day I look, and I was like, wow, I was like, this dude with a jerry curl is out here killing, man. That was my other thing. I might want to add that point to it.
The
jerry curl,
okay.
which I was used to because I was moving back from California. I didn't know dudes with jerry curls could hoop like that.
Yeah.
So next day, I look in the newspaper, because I love reading up, and that's how you got your sports back then.
Right.
Dell had 33 points in 3 quarters. I was like, wow. So that sent me on a path. I was on 3rd string. I didn't understand anything about basketball, but being around it. And then the very next year in Elkhart itself, the phenomenon known as Sean Kemp rose up, because Sean was in the 9th grade when I was in the 6th grade. Sean was on the varsity, and he was doing things that people hadn't seen before out of a 6'8", 15-year-old. He's dunking on everybody. So you're around it, you're around it all the time. And then obviously a couple years later, you get around it, you're around, I was around Notre Dame football a lot. So being a Division I athlete, I love football, I love basketball at that point. So being around the athletes, I was around Tony Rice, I was around Tim Brown, I was on the sideline at Notre Dame games coming up. Just being around it helps too, as far as, but Dell is right. The discipline of it, I never went to the prom. I chose to do basketball things on those weekends. I think I turned out all right not going to the prom, but those are some of the things that you sacrifice. You sacrifice the good times that your friends say they have, and they going to hang out. You going to practice, or you going to work out. I never forget, in the 7th grade, I was kind of like a bench warmer. I've said this before. I've told you guys the story before. Like, I didn't want to be a bench warmer anymore. I grew some in between 7th and 8th grade. I went outside every day in the summertime at about noon. That was my time. The hottest time, one of the hottest points of the day, with a jug of water and crackers. Don't ask why that was my combination, but that was my combination at the time. And the crazy thing was, the court that I shot at, where I lived at, my apartment was only 20 yards away. I could go inside and get water and do all that, but I was shortening up my breaks. I was working on my moves. I was like, I'm not going to be on the bench anymore. I'm not going to only play 1 quarter. And I grew some, my skills got better. And then the drive was there. That was what I was, this is what I wanted to do. This is what, hey, I got laughed at a lot for doing that. I got laughed at a little bit, by, I was gangly. I looked like the letter L, skinny, looked like a letter L. But as I grew into myself, I was able to really, be part of, to become a Division I athlete. I'm also very fortunate that I have a lot of Division I athletes in my family too, as well, that the talent helps come from that.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's. I agree with both of you all. You have to have the talent, have to have the discipline, and you have to have the commitment. Those three things have to go. You have to work.
Yep.
It's true. Some young athletes need to understand. I've heard it said several different ways, but there's four things. You can only be good at three of them. One of them is going to have to be left, and you can have family, God, sports, and social.
Yep.
One of them you can't serve.
Yeah, right, true.
You can
Yeah.
only serve one. So what will you give up? So it's just it comes down to the discipline, comes down to the work ethic. That's something that I think really needs to be known from our young ones.
Yep.
Is that work ethic.
Yep.
You have to have the work ethic. Not sometimes, like Delray said, every day.
Every day, yeah.
You are I say this all the time to a lot of the athletes I coach. It's not a light switch. You don't turn the light switch on, I'm an athlete today. Or I'm turning it off, I'll be an athlete tomorrow.
Right.
You're an athlete every day. Every
Yep.
second of the day.
24/7.
You're an athlete. So you have to live as an athlete. You have to do that. That means every decision you make has to be for being an athlete.
Yep.
What you eat,
Moses.
do.
Growing up, there was nothing I wanted to do more than play basketball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything I wanted to do more than play basketball.
Yep.
Okay. And I chased girls with the best of them. I ain't want to do that more than I played basketball.
Right.
There was nothing more that I wanted to do. I was in seventh grade. Yeah, I was in seventh grade. And our middle school used to have this fundraiser where they would sell oranges to the parents, crates of oranges. So me and my teammates, we got creative one time. We knew where they were keeping the oranges. So we stole some oranges. We was eating oranges. Never mind did we think the custodian was going to tell on us. We didn't even see him, but he saw us. So our coach, who was also our PE teacher, said, so yeah, y'all was stealing oranges, huh? We like, damn, how he know? We were like, yeah. He said, okay, this is your choice. Y'all can all bend over and take a swat. Back then they could paddle us. Take a swat or run 10 extra suicides after practice for the next 2 weeks. It was like, oh, okay, that one's out. Or miss a game. Oh, that one was totally out. So we all took that swat because we didn't we didn't want to run, and I wasn't gonna miss no game. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I'm telling you, there was nothing else I'd rather do than play basketball.
Yeah.
From the time, as long as I can remember. As long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's got to be the love. You got to love it. You have to really fall in love, and the love of it is also working on you.
Right.
Yeah, working on your game.
You got to fall in love with the working on it. I can remember so many nights my parents would tell me, "Man, come inside. It's too dark out there." What you doing in the dark? I'm imagining. I'm playing games, just I'm gonna do this maneuver. I'm imagining. Everything I did was imagine a plan. I got somebody I'm playing against. Got somebody I'm going. I'm in the basement. I can tell them, man, if you don't stop dribbling that ball, I'm in the garage, just dribbling. You have to fall in love with the small things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, to that point about, I still remember, being watching the NBA on a Sunday, or the weekend game that they come on, and then going outside and then emulating those same moves that you just saw on TV. Whether it was Magic, and I always loved, like, I used to really love Dominique Wilkins, even though I couldn't jump like Dominique Wilkins. But you know what? I love the fact that he could score the basketball, and all those moves you would try, and those passes you would try, and you try to incorporate that into your game, and you know, the love of basketball, just, you know, it in future. And like I tell young kids all the time now, or young people, or, you know, whether they're athlete or not, like, have something that gets you from point A to point B. Basketball was what got us from point A to point B, right? And now it became, the rest of the alphabet became easier because that fuel and that drive got us to where we needed to get to at the college level, right? And then now it opened up the world to you. So I sit back and remember those times, and when, you know, you had a love for the game, but your love didn't match your game, that was tough.
Yeah.
So
I agree too. You also have to be around it.
you have to be
It's
around
something
it.
else that I tell athletes, young athletes, is how can you do something that you don't watch or pay attention? You have
Right.
to watch. You have
Yep.
to be watching. And then I've sat down. What are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm watching." Well, that's not the position you're gonna play.
Yeah.
You know, but what of this person are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm watching. No, but watch what he does when he doesn't have the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what happens when this
Yeah.
happens. So you have to really pay attention, because not only doing that, you have to study, because mentally you have to be prepared
Yeah.
to be able to be and play at that high level
Yeah.
and go. Now, unfortunately, everybody doesn't have that.
Right.
And that's where I think also the next part of what it takes to be a Division I athlete has to be there. I think you have to have a good support system. You have to have somebody that is in your corner that's actually keeping it honest and real with you.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have the things to play at that ability.
Right.
Doesn't mean you won't play in college. It just there's a Division I athlete. That's why it's Division I.
Yeah.
And then there's not. So I think you need real people in there. Doesn't say don't try to reach and attain it, but you need real people to also tell you, hey, you know what? If you want to get here, it takes work. You need to work on this part.
Right.
Because you can't just go out there and just only work on shooting. I'm just gonna work on shooting threes. That's it. No, you have to have more to it than just that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
You gotta work on your total game.
right.
Right.
And to your point, Moses, the crazy thing about that whole, I shouldn't even say it's the crazy thing about it, is that you see a lot of that at a lot of games. You see, you know, people yelling, family members yelling at players, take them, go one-on-one, you know, here, do this. Like, you know, that's not what's going to get you a Division I scholarship. Okay. You know, for a fact, you've coached the game, Dell's coached the game, I've coached the game, and been around some great players in this game, played against and coached some great players. Like, that's not what's going to get you a Division I scholarship right now. Everybody thinks that you know, I got to score my way to the next level. No, you don't score your way. You play your way to the next level, and you have to be a well-rounded basketball player. And some of these people, what are they watching? They watch highlights. They don't watch the whole game. They don't know how they got to that play.
Right.
You know, you watch a whole game, you know how you get to that particular play. How do you get to that? You know, how do you use that? How do you incorporate that into your game? Whether it's offense, whether it's defense, and then don't get us going about these new titles of players and all that. But
Del Rey's favorite.
Oh yeah, two-way player.
Two-way player.
Two-way
That's
player.
his favorite state.
Oh yeah, that's favorite. You know, like hey, it's right up there. It's right up there. Like we're in hockey, and you know what? There's hockey subs in the middle of a basketball game at half court. Somebody subbing in for you. Like if you only play one way, like you can't play the other side. But just your development. Your development of the game is being able to recognize a lot of things, pick those things up, and incorporate them in your game. If you're a 13, 14-year-old, go play with grown men.
Yeah.
Because you learn the physicality of the game. You learn that you get tricked a couple times, then you understand. Hey, you back in the day, you playing with the older guys, and you check that ball up wrong. Oh, you in trouble. You check it before everybody ready, and the other team get an easy bucket. You may not get back on the floor again. people nowadays may think that that might be the dumbest thing ever. But what does that teach you? It teaches you to make sure you're ready all the time and everybody else is ready. You know, so when you're looking at it in a totality of the game, you have to have something, like you said, something that helps push you to the support system. You know, coming up in our era, so to speak, you know, if it wasn't parents, it was coaches, having great coaches and having some of that leadership to tell you, like, hey, you know what, that ain't it. You know, instead of having, you know, hype. There's a lot of hype people and a lot of kids like that. It's good to be supportive, but what way are you supporting them? Are you supporting them in the wrong way? Like, look, you know, if you've got a school that likes you, that's on to you, maybe that's your level. Your level will play itself out because your game, whatever you put into it, is what you're going to get out of it. If you put in a D4 effort, you're going to have D4 schools looking at you. And there are no D4 schools, everybody out there, just so you know. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. But if you put in maximum effort and you've got the talent and you've got the know-withal and if you got the grind in you, those types of things are going to come to you and they're going to come to your way.
Yeah. I think there's two more things that a Division I athlete needs. That's that. One is decision making. You have to make the right decisions to put yourself in the place. Mm-hmm. I say this all the time. That coach has a job. Yep. And he is not going to jeopardize his job to bring you in here and make the wrong choice or decision. Yep. So you have to be coachable. That's the other thing. Mm-hmm. Decision making and coachable. Yeah. You know, one of the first things I tell you I tell my players all the time. The very fastest way to get yourself not to have a scholarship is bad body language. When a scout comes to look at you and your body language is horrible, that means you have a horrible attitude. You're not coachable. That means you're going to make bad choices because you're displaying right now that I make bad choices.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you do that, he ain't even coming to look at you to begin with.
Right.
He ain't coming to look at you to begin with. Right. And I tell players that if you're a basketball player, what you're talking about, good decisions, that from the time you leave your house, you are being evaluated. Okay? If you're walking down to the bus, how you treat your classmates on the walk to the bus, how you treat them while you're waiting for the bus, how you act while you're on the bus. Once you get to school, how you walk into school, how you carry yourself in the hallway, how you carry yourself in the classroom. You're being evaluated. When I was an assistant at the University of Kentucky, I would walk in and I would know if I'm going to continue to recruit a kid by how they warmed up. Okay, because once you step across those lines, okay, it's about basketball. And I hate to watch people walking in warm-ups, shooting shots that they're not going to shoot in the game in warm-ups, not going to the free throw line during warm-ups. You know, when I got on the floor, when the game started, I was ready to play. I didn't need to run them down the court 2 or 3 times to be ready. You know, in pickup games, if you wasn't ready to play against me and my team, you was going to get beat because we was ready to play when the game started. You know, we play in the 12. I didn't scored 6 straight points. Before you talking about, oh man, I got to get a sweat. I was warmed up when we started. The game, when the game starts, you got to be ready to play. And I know you guys have seen it, Moses. I know you probably seen it where guys don't warm up. They out there,
dipsy doing.
Yeah, it's taking it, they ain't sprinting back to the end of the line. What are you doing?
Yep.
And if you're a really, really good player and I really want to recruit you and I see that, I'm gonna talk to the coach and say, hey, he doesn't, he's a good player, but he doesn't warm up. And then he takes plays off. He disappears. Mm-hmm. As a player, you want to impact the game on every possession. Every possession. You want people to say, "Oh, wow, okay." Whether it's getting a steal, getting a block, getting a rebound, going by, getting a layup, ball fake, hit an open guy. You want to impact the game of every possession. And that's the difference between an average player, a good player, and a great player.
Yeah.
And then you have to do it consistently. You have to be consistent too. That's another key element in becoming a Division I player. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, the discipline part about it, and you can really impact a game at the high school level um, and at the AAU level. Um, you know, play after play after play. If you where you're supposed to be at when you're supposed to be there, just being in the right place and playing and playing the game the way it's supposed to be playing. You can affect the game, really easily at that level, and you know, even more to that point about being ready to play when the lights come on. When you smell that popcorn, you're supposed to be ready to go from right then and there. The popcorn smell shouldn't affect you. Some people start smelling the popcorn. Hey, you better be ready to eat that popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that effort and energy is key too. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta have
Oh,
effort and
yeah.
energy, like you say all the time. One of the phrases that I've always used is you gotta keep your motor going.
Mm-hmm.
Your motor can't. You can't. You said take plays off. Can't take plays off. Your motor's got to continue to go. And once you lace up them shoes, it's got to be go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to be ready in the locker room when you're putting your stuff. But that's when you're getting ready. You can't
Yep.
wait to get to the
Mm.
out on the court and then start
Yeah.
trying to get ready. You
Mm-hmm.
got to be ready mentally. So it's a
Yep.
it's an effort. I just say, man, when we come into the gym, we need to be 10 points up
Mm-hmm.
just
There
on
it
how
is.
we enter the gym.
Right.
Yep.
We come in, that energy, the way that we coming in, we already sweating. We in the locker room doing push-ups and other stuff just to make sure that we ready when we
Yep.
get out here and it's warming up. We're warming up. We're going. We ready. Hey, warm up
Yep.
is the first part of the game. Is what I always say.
Yep.
Warm ups is the first part of the game. That's included in the first quarter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that is
right.
included in the first
Yeah,
quarter
that's
for sure.
included in the first quarter. It's how we play.
Your
We got to
motor.
start off.
Yeah.
This is how we start the game off.
Motor. I always say.
Moses, I got another E for you.
Okay.
Enthusiastic.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got to be enthusiastic.
Can't put
Yeah.
gas
Energy,
in the
effort,
bicycle. Can't
and
put gas in the
enthusiasm.
bicycle.
Hey, you can't play the game in the telephone booth.
Nope.
You got to
You
be
sure right.
enthusiastic. You know, talking on defense, talking on offense. You got to be enthusiastic about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. Now, coaching with Damon, he came up with this system that with the shot clock, when it gets down to 10 seconds, everybody's yelling red. And you wouldn't believe how that messes up the other team.
Mm.
But we're all yelling, that tells our players to lock in for 10 more seconds. We got 10 more seconds to get a stop.
Gotcha.
Okay. And the stop isn't complete until we get the rebound.
Right.
But what that does to the other team is speeds them up. They're all, they're like, what is this? And it's amazing. Just that one little thing,
Mm-hmm.
triggers something in both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There are a
like
lot
that.
of uh, you know, the whole system that Dell's referring to is that late in the late game, there's last 10 seconds of the shot clock. There's only certain people who touch the basketball, and when you're playing against international teams, that they don't have that. That's not the same mentality. In the NBA, you're gonna see a Jordan or Kobe with the ball at the shot clock down. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those are guys that are gonna have the Kevin Durant, Curry. So you don't see that in international basketball because there's so much movement going on with the ball. Boom, boom, boom. Now you get to that situation. Now you can really lock in because the worst shots in basketball happen with 10 seconds or less on the shot
On
clock.
shot clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Man. Well, you know what? This is going to be the first part of many conversations about what it
Mm-hmm.
takes, because there's
Yep.
more things for to be a Division One athlete. I know our time is winding down today, so I want to get to our last topic before we do our spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, about Division One athletes and what it takes, let's talk briefly a little bit about that NIL and its future. NIL is a big topic. It's a big part of now what our athletes, student athletes now, can use to generate some income for themselves and their
Right.
families. Now I want to start off by saying what I heard. I shared it with you guys in our chat. With Commissioner Silva said that he likes the NIL
Mm-hmm.
because it gives those athletes, those collegiate athletes that didn't make it into the draft. They only have so many picks. They only have so many.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them an opportunity to create and generate some income for their families
Mm-hmm.
when you're going back to college and really getting
Mm-hmm.
in there. What's your take on the NIL?
Well, first off, Adam Silver was being nice to the players, telling them don't, you shouldn't come to the NBA. You
Yeah,
make as much money as you can.
right.
You're gonna be working for Allstate Insurance. Basically, that's what he was trying to tell some of the players and some of the athletes on the basketball side. Well, NIL is very interesting.
They went pro.
Huh?
They went pro
Yeah, they went
and
pro.
something other than
That's something other than sports. Exactly right. That's what Adam Silver was saying. The NIL is, I call it the Wild Wild West. Dell and I have many conversations about this. About one, we were born too soon. Just saying, to really have liking to play in this type of era. I mean, I'm sure every former uh, Division One high level basketball player would have loved to play in this era to figure it out. But now I just saw that now they're going to let the collective still continue to pay the players. Now the collectives can still pay the players. The school has been required to pay the players. So now it's almost like to a point where it's going to essentially be double dipping. So now the boosters can get involved in paying the players as well as what the revenue generated by the schools are going to be able to pay the players as well. So now you're going to see, you're going to see multiple their contracts. You're going to say player agreement, but they're contracts. My thing is that
Verbal contracts.
yeah, correct, verbal contracts. But at the end of the day, um, it's not about you getting paid because I'm for that. I'm for that. But I'm also for how do you keep it at a level where it's it definitely is the direct to where your skill set is at and what you can do, for the university. Should we have a slide? Should there be a sliding pay scale? And now, some guys are, hey, you average 16 points a game and 8 rebounds. Now automatically you're considered a $3 million a year player. Like, really? Really? Like, okay, where did you do that at? You know? And then some of the players are holding and agents, NIL agents. I'm not afraid it's putting the schools into a situation where they have to deal with agents. And then there's NIL agents. Well, the NIL agents make more money than a regular NBA agent. So this is what skyrockets the cost and why these verbal agreements are so high. Because an NIL agent can require 20%, whereas an NBA agent can only get 3 to 4%, right? And that's off of your only contract. Now, NBA agents and they can get more off the marketing deals, 25%, but when you got 20% coming in, what are you going to do? You got 2 or 3 kids, you got 20% coming in. Yeah, you're going to try to get the money back that you've already invested into that kid. All right? You've already invested money in that kid. We know that. Let's be honest. This is what we're talking about. All facts here, right? We know that we know that the agents are putting money into kids at some way, some form or another. Some money is going into the kid, right? So when you look at it, if you only get a kid $1 million, your your 20% off of that is $200,000, right? Getting your money back. But if you're an NBA agent and it's only, 3 to 4%, you're only getting $30,000 to $40,000 off of that, right? So, this is what's driving up the cost of college athletics, is because the NIL agents can make a lot more money. All right. So now they're in there, they're holding the school hostage. Hey, look, my player gonna get this much because, in their mind, I need to get this much. So it's a thin line between loving and hating it, It's a thin line between love and hate on this in my book. And there's so many other things that influence it. I'm gonna give Dale the floor on it because I get a little jacked up about NIL and being able to have, put it at bay and to have a university really flow. It's like have and have nots. It really is, because a lot of the Power 5 schools, because they have the big TV deals, they're gonna be able to do a lot of things. They have the big boosters and all that. Some of the mid majors, not so much. So.
What you think, Dale?
Well, I'm in favor of it. Like Damon said, we were born too soon. I could only imagine being the number one high school player in the country and NIL being around when I was coming out. Lord have mercy.
Man.
Okay, but
how many jerseys you think
Can I get a loan?
How many jerseys you think you'd have sold, Dale?
what?
We know DB would have got one after that basketball game.
What? How many jerseys? What? But anyway, so I'm in favor of it, and like Damon said, it is the wild, wild west right now. But my whole thing, Moses, is like, if I'm paying a kid $1 million, okay, for 1 year, and he averages 9 points and 2 rebounds, why am I paying him $1 million?
Right.
So your evaluation of a player has got to be on point. You can't miss in your evaluation process now, not with NIL. And I think that, I don't know how each school does it. If I was in charge, or if I was assisting in managing or paying out the NIL, a lot of that money would be paid at the back end.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you $1 million when school starts.
No.
So you can say, the coach say something you don't like, and you just say, the hell with it. I got my money. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's another thing that I would institute. And you just, at the end of the day, it's still about becoming the best basketball player you can be and winning games. Right now we got a lot of good money going after bad.
Yep.
You got schools that have one of the highest payrolls for NIL, and they don't make the NCAA tournament. Make that make sense.
Yeah,
right?
make that one make sense, Dale.
Make that make sense. So it's how it's structured and how it's implemented. And I think that smarter heads will prevail, and those that do it. Duke did it right.
Dark money.
But it's not even. It could be dark or it could be light, however the money is.
Well,
but they were able to still have those kids perform at a high level.
Yeah, and guess what? They don't be yipping and yapping about how much they're getting. You don't know till it's over. That's another thing. First thing, yeah.
And I played for Coach Pitino, who's now, and I worked for him at the University of Kentucky, and I seen him say in interviews that that's one of the first things he does with his team. He calls them all in, and we're not talking about who gets paid what. He said for first team meeting, that's his whole thing. We're not talking about who gets paid what. Okay. And I'm sure, and I know what he's saying, is that I've coached guys much better than y'all, and they didn't get no money.
Mm-hmm.
He has said that. I guarantee you he has said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys be grateful that you're able to get this money now.
Yep.
Okay. But our focus is making you the best basketball player that you can possibly be, and us winning games. Our goal is to win a championship.
Yep.
I could almost hear him verbatim what he's saying. And I've seen him say it in interviews that, matter of fact, he was on the Stephen Colbert show, the late night with Stephen Colbert. And he said that we bring them in and we don't discuss how much everybody's making. You know, and that's really the way you got to do it, because if you got a kid over here making $1 million and you got another kid over here making 2.5, and the kid making $1 million is killing the kid making 2.5.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Killing them. And you're like, and he's like, what? You know, even though it's more money that they've ever seen in their life, they don't care about that. They care about what the other person is making.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. How many clicks?
Yeah.
Well,
And
we're going to explore this conversation even more. I know our time is getting down. We could talk for days on many subjects. We're going to make sure we explore, will the collective managed deals give away to direct school payments? Will small schools be priced out of NIL contention? And then, you know, and now we got to also talk about the AI tools. Will AI tools change athlete marketing and competition?
And we know a lot about that. We know a
Yeah,
lot about that, Mo.
we do.
The AI game. We got a little something. We got a little something for you on that. We got a little something for everybody out there on that one.
Man, hey, this is Game Recognized Game. All facts, no filter. Before we get out of here, we want to spotlight an athlete this week, and I'm gonna let, since you know your ties with China, we coming from China this week with the athlete, and I'm gonna let you say her name so we can pronounce it as close to correct as we can.
Woo! All my Chinese friends out there, do not punish me for if I stumble on the name. But her name is Jitju Zhong. Okay. 7'3". All right. 7'3", 18 years old, and a dominant force. She's got great hands. She's got, pretty good footwork. All right. I think that, she can help revolutionize the game of basketball because of that size. You can't move her. Okay. Don't even think about trying to move her out the way. All right. She looks like she's playing on a Nerf hoop out there. And right now she's got pretty good mobility. She gets back up and down the floor pretty well. She can get back. She can do a little bit better, but she was dominant in FIBA's Asia Cup on the women's side here recently. And I remember her I thought it was just a freak of nature when I saw her at 13 or 14 years old in some footage and how the girls were so small compared to us. But now she's got grown women small next to her. Can you imagine this? Brittany Griner's 6'9". She's 7'3". Now, the only other player that I can think of was a young lady. She was from Russia. Her name escapes me right now. She was 7'2". She came over and she played in the WNBA, but she was not as skilled as this young lady here from China, who's going to be able to revolutionize the game. Now, can she get in here and do some things maybe at the college level before she goes to the WNBA? I don't know. Maybe we're in the wrong business. Maybe I might need to become an agent, man. I already talked about NIL agents. Maybe I should be a WNBA agent. Hopefully, we can help get them to stop throwing toys on the floor and all that stuff.
Man,
So
let's just talk a little bit about, I know you said about her Asia Cup and the 2024 under 18 women's Asia Cup. She averaged 35 points a game, 12.8 rebounds a game. Let's just say 13. And she was leading China to the finals, where she earned tournament MVP honors in that. And then her senior debut came in 2025, 18.7 rebounds and 1 block in just 12 minutes. And don't hurt me for the name, but it was 12 minutes against Bosnia and Herzegovina.
yeah, Bosnia,
Yeah.
Bosnia,
Yeah. So, man, she is getting a pretty big buzz. Her FIBA highlights are all over social media. And just want to send a shout out to her as our student athlete spotlight for this week.
yeah. Well, Mo, I don't think she's taking any classes. She just might just be the young athlete of the. She ain't in class no more. She ain't in class no more. She ain't in class no more, Mo.
I think she graduated. She was in class.
Yeah, she was in class.
Basketball class. Yeah, she was in basketball class.
We've been to China.
Oh yeah,
they make them go to school now.
yeah.
They go to class.
She probably doing strictly basketball stuff during the day now. She cut that out at about the same age I was getting cut from the softball team, man. 12.
Went back to being cut again. I thought he said he woosah'd on that deal.
Hey,
he just can't let it go. He can't let it go.
Anybody out there can help me get through that catastrophe of a time at 12, that trauma I went through. Please reach out. Let me know, okay? Let me know if y'all can help me out.
You aged out.
Yeah, I aged out.
You aged out. Thought we had got to that point.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been a great day, great start to our game recognized game. I appreciate all of our listeners and followers, man. I appreciate to be able to sit and talk all facts, no filter with my brothers here, Del Bray and DB. I'm Coach Mo. Until the next time, we'll holler.